The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Aspire Counseling Services. Call 829-7300. Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Getting our first look at baby Sussex this morning as Harry and Meghan emerge with the 2-day-old for cameras and the world to get their first look.
The refuge fire continues to burn near the Kern National Wildlife Refuge, already scorching more than 2,500 acres. When we expect to learn more as crews battle the flames.
Honoring the teachers of the Golden Empire, 51 nominees, but just 2 take away the top teacher title. We'll tell you the winners and why they're so special. This is Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. Good morning. Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher and Kevin Shred. And of course, all week is for honoring all of our educators and teachers for all that they do for all of our students and that they did for us.
As we go throughout the day, we'll be warming up to 75 by noon. By 3 o'clock, a northwest wind at 5 and 82. For the mountains, you're at 54 degrees right now. You do have a breeze out of the west-northwest at 17. And as we take a look at the day, starting out in the 50s, we'll keep that breeze around throughout the afternoon, and temperatures expected into the lower 70s. Again, the chance of rain is headed our way. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
5:04 now, nearly 2 weeks after we first told you about allegations of sexual abuse against Monsignor Craig Harrison, more claims have surfaced. That's according to the Survivors Network of those abused by priests, known as SNAP. The organization held a news conference in front of the diocese in Fresno yesterday. 17th Amber Frias was there and spoke with survivors about why they're demanding several things from Bishop Joseph Brennan.
3 members of the Survivors Network of those abused stood in front of the Fresno Diocese holding a quilt with childhood pictures of victims of sexual abuse. 2 SNAP members held childhood pictures of themselves.
Who was a victim of this horrific sexual abuse crime.
The group demanded Bishop Joseph Brennan apologize to the victims of sexual abuse.
This is personal, and we think that the bishop has gotten off to a really bad start. One, by allowing a rally of several hundred people who rallied in favor of the multiply accused sex offender.
They also asked that he release all records of sexual misconduct accusations made to the Fresno Diocese.
We're asking that the Bishop of Fresno release his list of names and their records and their whereabouts of priests that have been accused here.
And just 2 hours before the news conference, SNAP released a list of 23 priests who have worked for the Fresno Diocese, who SNAP says have credible accusations of sexual misconduct. Bakersfield's Monsignor Craig Harrison and Father Miguel Flores were on that list. We asked what made something credible to SNAP.
We use the term based on the amount of detail in the disclosure. That's just SNAP's guidelines, but the attorneys have a legal mandate that's more encompassing. And we're not attorneys, we're volunteers.
Joey Piscatelli put the list together. He's a victim of sexual abuse himself.
We compiled a list from bishop accountability, newspaper articles, lawsuits, and the official Catholic directory.
Piscatelli also referenced comments made by Harrison's attorney, Kyle Humphrey.
We're asking that he apologize for toxic comments made by one of his team members who represents Father Craig Harrison, who referred to press, and it's quoted and it's in the paper, he referred to us rape victims of the Catholic Church as pigs.
About 2 hours after the press conference ended, Bishop Brennan released a statement in which he said a review of clergy files began on April 30th. Amber Frias, 17 News.
And you can read the bishop's full statement and look at the list of the priests compiled by SNAP. We've posted it on our website, kget.com. Meantime, the attorney defending Monsignor Harrison's demanding a closer look into SNAP's own practices. Kyle Humphrey called the news conference a publicity stunt. He says nothing SNAP reported is new information and believes the organization is motivated more by greed than helping abuse victims. Humphrey says more evidence is needed beyond just the accusers themselves.
It's ridiculous. I don't want to be unduly harsh, but we should worry about the evidence. An accuser is an accuser, and it was what they say that's evidence. Their claim to exist is insufficient. Let them give us details, and we can vet the details and facts.
SNAP also demanded an apology from Humphrey for comparing the abuse claims to pigs lining up at the trough. Humphrey fired back.
Well, I apologize that publicity-oriented organizations exist that hurt true victims. Because when somebody's actually a true victim and they're not driven by a need for money or notoriety. We should do everything we can to take care of them. But nobody should sit there and be muzzled because they're criticized by an organization that has an agenda.
Humphrey also points out that in late 2017, a chapter of SNAP had to apologize to a priest in St. Louis, Missouri as part of a settlement after all criminal charges against the priest were dropped. That case was against Father Joseph Yang, who was accused of abusing a boy in 2014. In November, the St. Louis Diocese published the apology on its official website. In the statement, SNAP says in part, SNAP apologizes for any false or inaccurate statements related to the complaints against Father Joseph Yang, Archbishop Robert J. Carlson, Monsignor Joseph Pins, and the Archdiocese of St. Louis.
It is 5:09 now, and today is the big day. The much-anticipated Lightning in a Bottle Music Festival is set to get underway. The event is at the Buena Vista Aquatic Recreation Center, and it will not just have music. There will be other activities like yoga and art classes. Now, safety is a big concern, but local law enforcement and festival organizers have been meeting for weeks to make sure everyone stays safe and has a good time.
Between us and fire, we kind of put our heads together and tried to think of every possible situation that may come up, and we're ready and prepared for it.
We've had great communication with the producers, the Sheriff's Department, EMS, all the county cooperators, parks. Put a lot of work into it, and we expect a safe and successful event.
The event will require mandatory overtime for 14 KCSO sergeants and 42 deputies that will be paid for by Lightning in a Bottle. And KCSO says that will not take away from public safety resources needed in other parts of the county.
5:09 now. Several local women will be in the spotlight today, being honored for their contributions to our community. Garden Pathways is holding its 17th annual high tea this morning at the Seven Oaks Country Club. Not only does the event recognize 4 women for their community service and leadership, but it raises money to benefit the organization, which provides mentoring and education services for children, adults, and families looking to better their lives and remove themselves from at-risk conditions. This year, the honorees are Dr. Jasleen Dugal, Sherry Hornbunk, Natisha Johnson, and Diana Messmaker. Mayor Karen Go and other dignitaries will be on hand to honor those women, and I have the honor of emceeing the event. A seat at the table for the luncheon costs $85. Tickets are still available. You can purchase them at gardenpathways.org. Hope to see everyone out there.
Hi, I'm Scott with Aspire. I want to personally thank Kern County for trusting Aspire with being a part of your family's recovery. At Aspire Counseling Services, we take this opportunity very seriously and would be honored for your continued support. Call us today.
Welcome back here at 520 Education News. To celebrate Teacher Appreciation Week, Kern County is honoring its Teachers of the Year. 17's Kara Waugh was at the annual award ceremony and has more about the pair of educators who received the award.
The Teachers of the Year program is the California Department of Education's way to thank teachers for all they do. The winners are ultimately decided by a committee of community leaders.
51 exceptional teachers nominated by their schools and districts. But just 2 were officially crowned Teachers of the Year.
Let's give them all a big round of applause.
Gigi Mauer is a 6th grade teacher at Juliet Thorner Elementary in Bakersfield.
It's a great opportunity to just really brag about the teaching profession. Something I love for 29 years, and it never has gotten old.
In her nearly 3 decades, she's mentored countless new teachers in the Bakersfield City School District.
And because I work with new teachers, I'm constantly stealing stuff from them and reinventing it in my classroom, making it work for me.
Her fellow winner is one of those innovative teachers. Valerie Perez from Browning Road STEAM Academy is the first teacher for the McFarland Union School District to earn this honor.
I feel that STEAM education is very important. We're trying to prepare our students for jobs that don't currently exist.
Her passion for STEAM, or science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, is something she's trying to advocate for at the state level. In her classroom, more than 20 STEAM projects have been funded by the nonprofit Donors Choose.
And I try to tie it to real-world learning, and I'm doing it as young with students as 3rd grade.
Both Mauer and Perez will represent Kern County in the statewide Teacher of the Year competition later this year. The alternate, Flor Gonzalez, is a dual language kindergarten teacher at Nueva Vista Language Academy in Delano.
Truly 51 people who embody the spirit of the Golden Empire. I'm Karen Hua, 17 News.
And it is Teacher Appreciation Week, and each day we're highlighting teachers here in the Golden Empire.
After dipping a few cents, gas prices are climbing again. According to Gasbuddy.com, the national average for a gallon of regular unleaded gas today is $2.89, up a penny from yesterday. California's average didn't change. It's at $4.09. That's also the average in Kern County. We also track the lowest gas prices in the Bakersfield area thanks to Gasbuddy. Today, the lowest is $3.65 a gallon, and you can find it at the Mobile on Kimber Avenue in Southeast Bakersfield. Those prices change often, so check them out on our website, KGET.com. Just click on the traffic section to find them. On the eve of Uber's big day on Wall Street, the rideshare company and its competitor Lyft face strikes by unhappy drivers. From coast to coast, the protests for higher wages and more benefits could mean a big slowdown just in time for rush hour for the services. Dan Scheneman has more.
Your morning commute could become a crawl today as rideshare drivers across the country put the brakes on rush hour. Contractors for Uber and Lyft promising to turn off their apps, refusing pickups in order to drive their message home.
I have to live in a car to make a living.
They're not getting health care, they're not getting benefits, they're not getting 401ks or anything. All they're getting is the fare. So they should get paid more.
The drivers demanding better wages, clear policies on tips and fares, and benefits like paid time off. Strikes are planned for a growing number of cities, including Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, and coming a day before Uber is slated to go public, an offer estimated to possibly top $90 billion.
There's no indication that it's in their strategy to make these drivers happier. They're both planning to pay them less over time, to rely on them less.
Lyft released a statement saying drivers' hourly earnings have increased in the last 2 years and, quote, we're constantly working to improve how we can best serve our driver community. So far, no comment from Uber as it faces a morning of protests ahead of its debut drive down Wall Street. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Aspire Counseling Services. Call 829-7300.